Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to episode 17. Today I thought I would talk about how my self-image started forming. So like I told you that the whole thing, the background about how I was anemic and that affected my memory. Then I went to that Marathi school where mom would ask, what did you learn? And I would just say ka kha ga gha. And I don't know if I had some attention deficit disorder or whether because that class was unsuitable for me and it provided no mental stimulation, I tuned out of it, and that created a situation where I used to tune out and not pay attention later on. Or it's some catch 22, self-feeding situation. But there were many aspects that contributed to my low self-esteem. And since we're still talking about the Dapchari time when I was really small, I'll focus on those incidents. So, how did my opinion on my intelligence form? So, early on, I know I started perceiving myself as a very dumb person, as a very unintelligent person. One thing is temperaments. Like, obviously, we have wildly different temperaments for different people. Baby Molly, even though in the same situation, that's why I spoke about temperaments. The same situation affects different people differently. So baby Molly was very happy with herself, and she nothing affected her, nothing made her have a poor self-esteem, and the same things that happened did not make her feel bad about herself. Obviously, everything was not identical. Um, Now, one aspect that really affected my self-esteem was um, that mom was very open about her criticism of us being females. She very openly and she did not feel like it was something she shouldn't do. She constantly expressed how she was so disappointed that we were females and if only we were boys, and that was just a constant in our lives, and each time it used to hit, it used to hurt. And it messed with Ruby so badly that later on she would dress like a boy. She even started peeing standing up, which she told me about. Like, she would try to be the boy that my parents wanted. She so badly wanted to be that boy. She started behaving a little bit boisterous, a little bit like um, how boys tend to be a little intimidating. She tried to be that way, or she was that way, I don't know. So that was there. One thing was how mom was so open to criticize us for being females. Another aspect for my low self-esteem was that I probably had some hearing problem. I'm not sure if I could, some words were more muffled for me, like if somebody spoke unclearly, it was probably more muffled to me than it was to someone else. So I would end up not hearing stuff sometimes. And then sometimes I remember when Ruby would say something, I would be like, say again, I didn't understand. And then she would just refuse to say it again. So then what I started doing as a coping mechanism, I would pretend I heard stuff that was said to me, and I would try to mentally fill the blanks and carry on the conversations. And then sometimes you ended up saying the wrong thing and people would look at you in a weird way, like, what's wrong with you, kind of. And then me being a very timid personality, like my natural tendency, I think, was to be very timid. I'm very easily intimidated. I was a very obedient child, never did any mischief. I was never naughty. Like, if you go somewhere, I wouldn't just randomly, like I see children, they just touch different switches or they pick up objects that they shouldn't. I was very prim and proper like that. I would only follow instructions. I would be very obedient. So for that kind of a person, when somebody would just give me a look also, it would affect me very deeply. So I noticed this. Initially I thought everyone was kind of similar, but now then I started noticing that everybody doesn't feel everything so intensely. Like, I do feel everything very intensely. So even things like the shame, the humiliation, the embarrassment, I feel embarrassment so intensely even today. Like, I'll keep playing something in my mind again and again, like, how could I do that? How did I get so embarrassed? Whatever. So that was my basic temperament. So one was the thing about us being females, where mom did not approve. So when your own parents don't approve of you when you're a little baby, and how do you process that, and then the second thing was the hearing. Then the third was how the school thing, I did not get the foundation that I should have at that right age. I feel like if I had gone to nursery, kindergarten, and I would have, even in spite of my anemia and not, having such good cognitive skills and memory retention because of the anemia, I think I could have still thrived, because I was very creative, and whatever I created was different. My thought process would be different from the average kid. So that was there. But yeah, these were aspects that did make me feel kind of like I was not very bright. And then the incident where I couldn't remember the tables and my dad tried to record it, and yeah, I'm sure maybe his intention was not at all to humiliate me, but I felt so deeply humiliated and embarrassed by that thing, that I couldn't remember poems. And yeah, so these kind of things made me feel like I'm not too bright, and I internalized that perception of myself. I remember once when one cow was giving birth in our cow shed, and there were no adults around, and I saw that the baby's nose and paws, yeah, the front feet and legs were popping out, and I went running to get some adults. I called my mom and my dad. They were in some other part of our property, and I was like, the cow is giving birth, the cow is giving birth. And then they came and they helped her to give birth and all of that. And then afterwards, and they turned around and asked me, how did you know she was giving birth? And then that made me feel, that was my interpretation, that, oh, they don't think I'm even smart enough to understand that an animal was giving birth. Okay, I was a small kid, but an animal is giving birth, that's pretty obvious. What's there to know about it? I don't know. I was on a farm. I don't remember if I'd seen a calf taking birth before, but I feel like, why would you even, if you think I'm that stupid, I'm probably that stupid. That was my mindset, that if the significant adults in my life think I'm stupid, I'm probably stupid. So then there was another incident where my dad, I remember, he probably didn't mean it that way. He said, oh, so what will you become when you grow up? Will you become an IAS officer? So that's a big deal, you have to be really smart to be an IAS officer. And then he laughed after saying that. And I thought, like, it's a joke that I could become an IAS officer. But now that I think about it, I think it was just a random laugh. Maybe he just kind of said it and laughed. I don't think he meant it in a way to put me down. But then that's how I would interpret things, and I would internalize them. So yeah, there are many more things that kept on building this self-image, that I was really dumb and unintelligent and unworthy. But these are few of the incidents that started me building that self-image of me being a very undeserving, unintelligent, and person who is low on the rung, low in the pecking order. Anyway, I was the runt of the litter. So these are some things that I remember about how my self-image started forming. So thank you for watching my video, episode 17. Please do subscribe. Please give a thumbs up if you like my video. Please do watch out for my other videos. Thank you for listening. Bye bye for now.